Last time, Doug and Lisa decided to make each other's birthday cakes separately. Our cake will be round. I guess that'll mean 2 layers. It's going to have icing on it. This is so easy.
I'm gonna make this a 3-layer white chocolate cake with white chocolate buttercream.
So I guess I gotta go half and half into this bad boy. Boy, that's great.
I don't normally have this much trouble, but Doug's white chocolate birthday cake is chilling, and I'm going to make the white chocolate American buttercream.
All right, we're back. My cakes are cooled off, and now it's time to make the icing. This chocolate fudge icing, Lisa calls it our second husband icing. If I ever die, she said she's just gonna marry this. I'll just show it to the camera. Yeah, she likes it, needless to say.
I know that Doug likes American buttercream better than Swiss or Italian buttercream, so I'm gonna stick with this very basic recipe.
So I need to heat this pan. 4 tablespoons butter, a bunch of brown sugar.
Now to get this buttercream very creamy, we're gonna whip this for about 2 minutes.
Salt, and some half and half.
Going to add in quite a bit of vanilla. I'm eyeballing about a tablespoon.
Small bubbles appear around the perimeter of the pan. Ooh, look at that, I see small bubbles.
I still have my white chocolate to melt and drizzle in as well.
Do they need to be around the whole perimeter? Some of the perimeter?
Now while the mixer runs, I will drizzle in the white chocolate.
Okay, we got the whole perimeter. So then it says to turn it down.
This is too thick for spreading on a cake smoothly, so I'm going to thin it. Now the trick here is that most American buttercream recipes call for milk, but I find that milk has way too much water content and can make your icing turn curdled by the time you get it to the consistency that you want.
I wonder if any of the children have ever seen Lisa make this. Does anybody know how thick the mixture should be at the beginning of making second husband icing?
So instead, I use heavy cream. It has much less water content, a higher fat content, and will blend better with this icing.
I'm gonna call that done. Done with the heat here. Nope, nope. Extra low. How about off? Where's off? There it is. We hide off behind ultra high, burn the house down.
That's looking smooth.
Transfer to large bowl.
The next step in this cake process is to color some icing. We're gonna make some nice streakies on the bottom, so I want a few colors of blue.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
I have a larger amount of icing here that I'm going to dye with the navy blue.
That's fine.
Now that this is a nice even pale blue, I'm going to separate some of this out into another bowl and continue dyeing the rest to make it dark. That's quite deep, but not quite the color of navy that I'm going for.
Add the chopped chocolate and our vanilla. I was a good boy and I pre-measured everything.
I think I'm gonna add a drop of violet.
Stir until smooth. Well, there's no chunks or anything in there. All right.
I like that color a lot better.
Slowly whisk in the powdered sugar and cocoa until it's incorporated. Okay.
The next color that I'm gonna use is Wedgwood.
Just
Dribbled on the counter instead of into the bowl.
Oh man, hope that powdered sugar and cocoa were allowed to be totally separate.
I love that color. The next color I'm aiming for is Peacock, so this one will tinge just a little green.
It doesn't quite look the same as when Lisa makes it.
That is a stunning color. I have a whole video on how to make black icing without food coloring, so check that out. Meanwhile, I'm going to use this Suncor Foods activated charcoal powder to turn just this little bit of icing completely black.
Bring it home.
After resting a bit, this ought to look perfectly black.
This looks pretty good. The next step is to cool it down, first to room temperature, then to put it in the fridge, cool it down even more in order to get it to a point where it's easy to spread on a cake.
I have my white chocolate cake layers and my white chocolate buttercream, and I'm ready to stack them.
All right, I've got my icing chilled. I've got my cake from the freezer. And now I need to assemble this thing and finish decorating.
Usually when I make these soft white chocolate layers, I like to layer them with something like cranberry curd or another fruit that goes well with that white chocolate.
So I need to unwrap. As with most of this, I don't feel like I did a great job.
But Doug's preference would be to have buttercream between the layers. So that's how I'm going to do his birthday cake. So these layers were double wrapped and frozen yesterday.
Okay, So then the next part here is clearly, I'm gonna put a layer of chocolate between it per our original design from the box. I've seen Lisa do this probably 1,000 times. However, I've never paid much attention. So I just grabbed all of the devices that looked like maybe the tool could help me, but I don't really know which one I'm supposed to use. So
I shake off a few of the ice crystals because I don't want that much water in there. Make sure you check for paper on your layers.
let's try each and every one of them. Why not? All right.
We'll put the first layer here in the middle of this cake round. This is a cardboard cake round.
Oh, okay. Well, there's your first problem.
I'm gonna give it a little smear of icing just to glue it in place.
Important safety tip, the fudge icing can get too cold to work with.
Now these cold cake layers will firm this icing very quickly, but that's what I want. It helps smoothing out the edges.
That means this is not gonna work.
Any extra off the middle I can remove before stacking the next layer.
Need to go to something stronger. Yeah, okay. And release. And release.
And the last layer goes on top, and we make sure it's beautifully level.
And release. Perfect.
Now on this layer, I've left the parchment paper on top because I'm actually gonna go get my level and make sure it's nice and flat.
Okay, I'm gonna try to spread it. Let's see how well it spreads there. Doesn't spread too bad. It seems like it's a little thick though.
Then I can peel this paper off.
Some of us may have expected this to even go worse than it already is.
Now I'm ready to begin coating the outside of this cake. I like to begin with the top and work my way down the sides.
So I'm just trying to kind of do a layer here in the middle between my two layers of cake.
Right now I'm just doing a crumb coat on the outside just to trap in any cake crumbs that might come off into the icing.
Oh, hey, this twirls.
Then we'll do a nice, smooth outer coat.
There's a pretty good layer in there.
This is when I would also use my icing to press into any holes between the layers to fill them in.
Ah, yes, perfectly domed.
Once all the holes are filled in,
Well, I've already started making a huge mess.
I'll smooth this crumb coat.
Just a little sample. Now I'm just trying to get some sense of application of chocolate.
I can see a few spots near the top that need a little extra icing.
I still think this may be too cold to actually do this, but
This is the first crumb coat. We'll let this harden just a little bit. Because the cakes are cold, it won't take very long at all.
it would not be the first or only mistake that I make during this cake.
Well, I've iced this cake and I forgot to turn on the camera because Doug usually does that. So it's not quite done yet, but the key to smooth icing is to put on a lot of icing and then take off the excess. So I'm going to reapply some icing on this cake.
And it all on the top here, and then I gotta kind of go on the sides and
Take off little layers at a time.
that's the technical term for it, when you the icing on the cake.
That's smooth enough for our detail work.
This is, whoops.
I'm going to use a very small palette knife to just make some little blobs around the halfway point of our cake.
This is perfect.
Whoops.
This is how professionals do it, I'm sure of it.
All right, now I'm going to go in with a little bit of black.
Now I'm coming to realize there's a slightly scary time here where I may not have made enough of the chocolate icing, fudge icing,
Ooh, it adds a little bit of depth there.
and I'm a little scared now.
I'm ready to create the drizzle for the side of the cake. I'm going to try dyeing this navy blue. I'm starting with white chocolate. This is actual white chocolate, not chocolate chips,
I'm basically a professional.
that I will then chop small. And I'm going to use the microwave to heat this, just 1 minute.
Yeah, oh, I've gotten a little bit on myself.
Basically a professional.
Still see a few lumps, but I am going to go ahead and add my food coloring.
I've seen Lisa make cakes. She's not clean either. Perfect.
Now a drizzle is all about consistency, so we let this cool for 5 to 10 minutes until it's just the right drippable consistency so that it clings to the cake and firms up just in time before it runs and turns clear on the outside.
Oh, no, wait, no, there's a bald spot over here.
I like to write on the cake first so that no matter where it ends up, even if it's not perfectly centered or exactly where I wanted it, I can adjust the rest of the decorations to go where it needs to be.
All right, I gotta wash my hands. I've made a huge mess.
I'm going to use edible gold dust
How does it get up my arm?
to paint on the letters and a little bit of detail on the sides.
I mean, since this worked so well, I'll try the bigger brother of this little one.
The time has come to do a little drizzle on one edge.
Oh no.
The consistency of my drizzle is just right.
At what point did you realize you were in over your head, Doug? Oh, it was about this moment right here.
I'm going to use a spoon for the ultimate control. My spoon's a little small.
People like alternating bites of incredible, just pure chocolate icing and then basically nothing, right?
It's running farther than I had hoped.
Okay, I thought that I started the cake off in the middle of this thing, but now
Stop.
either this side has an inch extra of icing compared to this side, or the cake shifted while I was doing all those machinations.
I'm gonna chill this drizzle a little more.
They are equally likely.
I told you, consistency was everything. I blew it.
I suspect Lisa will get a good laugh about this.
Okay, we're attempting drizzle number 2. I've put both the drizzle and the cake in the refrigerator to let them think about what they've done.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
That's much better.
Make a little pattern here. Apparently we're both very messy bakers. Her while being skillful at it, and me while producing this.
All right, this is where we get creative with sprinkles.
All right. Oh, a giant blob of chocolate fell off. You know what? Just another little taste test. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this plate.
Starting with the gold, some white pearls for contrast.
Nothing says clean plate like smeared chocolate.
Wish I had some larger sprinkles, but I guess I'll have to go sprinkle shopping.
Okay. Yeah, that is all sorts of uneven. Oh, it's missing a candle. I need a candle.
I can't.
No, I knew we didn't have it in there. What am I looking there for?
Oh yes, the silver is lovely.
All right, well, this is about done. You know, it's not great, but it is the level of skill that I operate at in the kitchen.
I'm gonna put this cake in the fridge to firm up a little bit. I can't wait to see what Doug has put together.
I hope she doesn't laugh at me too much. Boy, that leans.
It's time to reveal our birthday cakes.
As a birthday gift, you can hit that like, you can hit subscribe, you can hit the bell. It's 3 little things. We won't write you a card, but it's the thought that counts.
Can I show you? Are you ready?
Yes, I'll close my eyes, you get your cake, and then...
And open.
Wow, it's not even facing me. It says... No? That's nice.
Thanks.
It's gold and blue and...
It's white chocolate, just like you like.
Yeah? Oh, it's got like drizzle drippiness. That's not real gold.
It's not real gold.
Okay, good. Well, honey, it looks lovely.
Thank you.
This feels like it would have taken you a long time and been laborious in terms of number of layers and all the things going on. I'm a little worried about my cake, but you'll love me anyway, right?
Of course.
Okay. Well, I'll go get yours.
Okay.
You close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay, you can open them.
Hey, it's chocolate.
It's chocolate fudge.
And you put my real age on there.
1 year old.
I like it. Look what you did. Good job. You even decorated the edge. Look, it's got little stripes around the edge. It's got a little border.
Yep, totally on purpose. Everything you see, 100% on purpose.
So is this my favorite icing?
It may be a variation on your favorite icing.
Okay.
Okay, your cake is decidedly more fancy.
Well, you know what? That's to be expected, really. How many years have I been making cakes?
1.
1.
I think that might literally be my first cake.
It might be. You made the first cake you ever made for me. That makes it more special.
Well, let's hope it's not disgusting. So let's get plates and see how these things look on the inside.
Okay, it looks great.
Boy, it didn't start looking good. I've seen worse. It's a little thin on top.
Can I taste it?
Sure.
Okay, it's really good. The icing's very sweet. The cake is soft and moist. It's good. Why don't you taste it?
I don't love that icing, but I don't love that icing in general because it's competing with me. I'm the first husband.
What recipe did you use for the cake?
I don't remember. Duncan Hines, I think.
I see. Okay.
It was definitely a box.
Okay, well, you know, you gotta start somewhere.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks. So I do notice that there's a whole lot of icing on the top and sides. That's because while you were away and I was filming, I actually wasn't filming. I forgot to turn the camera on, so it got a double layer of icing.
I see. So while I was gone, you had AV issues. While you were gone, I had fundamental cake issues.
So this is white chocolate cake.
That's firm. The cake is very spongy. That's good. Are these beads edible, or am I gonna find those later? As usual, good job, dear.
Thank you. You did a really good job, dear. Thanks for making me a birthday cake.
You're welcome. And if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. If you make something, drop a comment, let us know what you make, and we'll see you next time.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.